Hey there, it's me, just a regular person really. For a long time I felt a bit lost. Like I was just going through the motions. Wake up, work, eat, sleep, repeat. Sounds familiar, right? I wasn't unhappy, not exactly, but I wasn't truly happy either. There was this nagging feeling inside. A quiet whisper saying, "Is this all there is?" I often ignored it. It was easier to just keep busy, to pretend everything was perfectly fine. I used to think self-improvement was for other people, people who had their lives together, or people who were really messed up. I was somewhere in the middle, just kind of existing. I wore a mask of contentment, smiling on the outside, but inside, I felt a bit hollow, like a donut with no filling. I was good at pleasing others. I was less good at knowing what I wanted, or even who I truly was deep down. My days were filled with distractions, social media, binge-watching shows, anything to avoid that quiet, empty feeling. I compared myself to others a lot. Then, one day something happened. It wasn't a huge, dramatic movie moment, not really. It was more like a series of small things, little paper cuts that finally made me bleed. Maybe it was a comment someone made, or a goal I missed by a mile, or just looking in the mirror and not recognizing the tired person staring back. It was a Tuesday, I think. The weather was gray, just like my mood. That feeling of meh was stronger than usual. I remember sitting on my couch. The TV was on, but I wasn't watching. That quiet whisper inside me, it wasn't so quiet anymore, it was more like a shout. "Enough!" It screamed, "You deserve more than this, you more than this." And for the first time, I really listened. It was scary, because listening meant I had to do something. I couldn't just hit snooze on my life anymore. The alarm was blaring. That moment was a turning point, a real fork in the road. I could keep going down the same old path, the safe, predictable, unfulfilling path, or I could choose a new direction, a scarier path for sure, one with unknown twists and turns, but also one with the possibility of more. So where do you even start? That was the big question. I felt overwhelmed, like wanting to climb a huge mountain with no gear. My first step was super small, almost laughably small. I decided to read one page of a self-help book, just one page a day. That's it. Some days I read more, but the goal was just one page. It felt manageable, not scary. It was a tiny promise I made to myself, and I kept it. Then, I started thinking about my physical health. I wasn't exercising at all. The idea of going to a gym felt awful, so I started with a walk. Just a 10-minute walk around the block. Again, super small. Some days it was hard. I made excuses. It's too cold, I'm too tired. But I tried to push past them. I told myself, just 10 minutes, you can do anything for 10 minutes. And usually I could. Slowly, those 10 minutes felt good. Another small change was about what I was eating. I didn't go on a crazy diet. I knew that wouldn't last. Instead, I tried to add one healthy thing to my day. Maybe an apple, or drinking an extra glass of water. Those tiny steps started to become habits. This is where things really began to shift. I learned that habits are like building blocks. You lay one brick, then another, and another. Soon you have a wall, then a house. My one page of reading turned into a love for learning. My 10-minute walks turned into longer hikes, and eventually, I even joined a dance class. It wasn't about willpower, it was about creating systems. I started to track my habits. Not in a crazy, obsessive way, just a simple checklist. Did I read today? Check. Did I walk? Check. Seeing those check marks was motivating. It gave me a little dopamine hit, a sense of accomplishment. James Clear talks about this, making habits obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. I tried to do that. I put my book by my bed, obvious. I found walking routes I enjoyed, attractive. I started small, easy. I celebrated small wins, satisfying. One powerful habit I built was journaling. Just writing down my thoughts, my feelings, my worries, my small wins. It was like cleaning out my mental closet, getting rid of the junk, making space for new, better thoughts. Some days I wrote pages. Section 5. Wrestling with my shadows, the hard parts of growing. Now, let's be real. This journey wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. Oh no, there were hard parts, really hard parts. Growing means facing your own stuff, your fears, your insecurities, your shadows, as some people call them. For me, a big one was my fear of judgment. What would people think if I changed? What if I failed? This fear often kept me stuck. It whispered nasty things in my ear. It told me I wasn't good enough. Another challenge was dealing with old patterns. Bad habits are stubborn, they don't like to leave. My habit of procrastination was a big one. My habit of negative self-talk. These were deeply ingrained. It was like trying to reroute a river. It took constant effort. There were days I slipped back, days I felt like a fraud, like I was just pretending to be this new, improved person. Those days were tough, really tough. I felt a lot of shame sometimes. Brené Brown talks about vulnerability, about how it's the birthplace of courage. I had to learn to be vulnerable, first with myself, to admit I wasn't okay, to admit I needed help. That was a huge step, then to be vulnerable with others. Section 6. Choosing my battles, learning what really matters. A big part of my growth was learning what to care about, and just as importantly, what to care about. Mark Manson nails this. You can't care about everything equally. If you try, you'll burn out. You'll be miserable. I used to waste so much energy on things that didn't truly matter, worrying about what strangers thought of me, getting upset over small inconveniences, trying to control things I couldn't control. It was exhausting. I started to ask myself, does this really matter? In a week? In a month? In a year? Most of the time, the answer was no. This helped me let go of so much unnecessary stress. I realized I have a limited amount of F***cc's to give, so I needed to choose wisely where I invested them. I decided to invest them in my values, things like my health, my relationships, my personal growth, my contribution to the world, however small. This meant saying no more often, saying no to things that drained my energy, saying no to commitments that didn't align with my priorities. Section 7. Bumps in the road when things got tough. Of course, there were setbacks. Big ones. Times when I felt like giving up. When all my new habits and positive thinking flew out the window. Life has a funny way of testing you. Just when you think you've got it figured out, bam, a curveball. Maybe it was a job loss, or a relationship ending, or just a period of intense stress where everything felt overwhelming. These moments were like hitting a giant pothole on my journey. During these times, my old friend self-doubt would come roaring back. See, it would hiss. You can't do this. You're not strong enough. Just go back to how things were. It was easier. It was tempting to listen. Very tempting. To crawl back into my old comfort zone, to numb out with distractions. And sometimes I did slip. I'm human. I made mistakes. I had bad days. Bad weeks even. The important thing was not to stay down. What helped me get back up? First, acknowledging the suck, trying to pretend everything was fine when it wasn't, that never worked. I allowed myself to feel the disappointment, the sadness, the anger. Section 8. My toolkit for you. Simple tips for your own journey. So, you want to start your own journey? Awesome. It's the best decision you'll ever make. Here are a few practical things that really help me. Maybe they'll help you too. First, start small. Seriously small. Don't try to change everything at once. You'll burn out. Pick one tiny thing, like drinking one more glass of water a day, or going to bed 15 minutes earlier. Small wins build momentum. They make you feel capable. Second, be kind to yourself. This is huge. You will mess up. You will have bad days. You are not a robot. When you stumble, don't beat yourself up. Talk to yourself like you'd talk to a friend who is struggling. With compassion. With understanding. Forgive yourself and get back on track. Self-compassion is not self-pity. It's self-kindness. It's a superpower. It fuels resilience. Section 9, your adventure begins now, go for it. So that's a bit of my story, my journey from feeling stuck and a bit lost, to feeling more alive, more purposeful, and more me. It hasn't always been easy. There have been tears, there has been frustration, there have been moments I wanted to hide under the covers and give up, but through it all, there has also been growth, so much growth, and joy, and a deep sense of satisfaction that I never knew was possible for me. If you're reading this and something resonates, if that quiet whisper inside you is getting a little louder, please listen to it. That's your true self calling. It's telling you that you're ready for more. You don't need to have all the answers right now. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need to take that first step, no matter how small it seems. That first step is the most important one. It's the one that says, I'm choosing me. Remember, you are not alone on this path. So many of us are figuring it out as we go. We stumble, we learn, we get back up. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. It's about becoming a little bit better each day. A little bit truer to yourself. Embrace the messiness.